So, when building a framework like this, the first thing that you think about is your impact, the long-term goal that you're trying to achieve as an organization. For us, this is building a global community of impact-led organizations who use data to better make decisions to serve their communities. Once you've looked at your long-term goal, you've identified where you want to get to, the next step is thinking about your outcomes. Now, we boil these down to five outcomes. The first three are really around helping organizations better collect and manage their data, monitor their programs effectively, and evidence their impact. The fourth one is a relatively new thing for us, and it's around building capacity within the third sector and simplifying impact measurement. And then finally, a slightly longer term outcome is increasing the evidence base of community data for research, policy, and evaluation purposes. Now, you'll see we've got sport in brackets there because realistically, at the stage that we are right now, we have better and more accurate sport data. And so that's an easy first step for us. But the goal is to build up that database of other third sector data so we can also help contribute towards research in these areas. So once you've looked at your outcomes, we map how our outcomes link back to the long-term goal we're trying to achieve. Our outcomes are really our so what. What is it that we're trying to do? The next stage then is looking at how we're going to do this. What exactly are we going to deliver in order to reach these outcomes? So your activities. We've broken this down into three key areas. The system itself, which is our bread and butter. The system really links to the top three outcomes. Capacity building piece, which is relatively new, which is much more around the thinking and the planning behind the system. So regardless of what system you use, have you thought about what to measure and how? Do you have a theory of change or a measurement framework? It's around building skills, knowledge, and capacity within staff so they really understand why they're doing this. Because the system is just a system, it's only as good as the stuff you put in it. It's really the thinking behind it that's important, and that's what we support organizations with. And then finally, the data piece, which is much more around mapping our organization outcomes to national and international strategies, standardizing data, standardizing questions, working with open data, getting data in and out of Upshot and integrating with other systems, and really starting to build up that evidence base. So once we've looked at our impact, our so what, our outcomes, and how we're going to do it, we start to look at what success looks like and how do we know that this is working or isn't working. Now, we do these with KPIs. As you'll see, we have a large number of quantitative as well as qualitative KPIs, everything ranging from the number of organizations we work with, how they feel about us and our service, positive customer satisfaction scores, whether we're saving them time, how our data is being used. Um, all of these are then mapped back to what we are trying to do and the outcomes we're trying to achieve, really helping us understand whether we are improving or whether there are gaps that we need to identify further. And then finally, we have the measurement tools, which is how are we going to get this data? So there's a whole bunch of tools for each KPI where we start to look at, can we understand whether what we're doing is actually having a meaningful impact or not? If we are failing, then how can we learn from it? And if we are doing well and we are having impact, how can we scale it? And so you'll see there's the whole bunch of tools that we use there. We do an annual user and organization survey, the results of which are on a survey dashboard on our website, so other organizations can go and look at what people thought. All of this really coming together as a living, breathing document to help us understand how we as an organization, as a social enterprise, can make an impact in the third sector and continuously improve while we're doing it. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a flavor of what we are aiming for.